When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com. Ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. Get started today at howardhanna.com.
Avoiding care can lead to worse problems. Don't delay care. We're here for you.
Hey everybody, Francis Beck here for Western New York Athletics, and welcome into the Western New York Immediate Care post-game show. The New York State Public High School Athletic Association Far West Regional Class C football game has come to a close, and it's Section 5's East Rochester Gananda getting the win 26-24 over Medina, ending the Medina perfect season. They end their season at Will South in the Far West Regionals. I'm joined by Tim Chifa and Joe Daniel. And let's start with you, Joe. Bring us to speed. What happened in the second half? Obviously, things were tied at 6 at halftime. And the second half, the two teams were going back and forth, but ultimately it seemed like it was the Bombers who converted enough to get the win.
Yeah, 6-6 at halftime. Obviously, the points all came in the second half. Two high-powered offenses, shown why, but it was just a couple key plays that really made a difference. Skinner touchdown run for Medina made it 12-6. And then the very next drive, Daniel scored for Ganada. Short TD run, 12-12. Skinner made it 18-12, and it was after a long pass from Payne to Thompson. Thompson was fantastic today. However, right after that, Ganada had a kick return for 18-18, and then it was we'll say it's a tough punt. I don't want to say it's a bad punt. These are just kids. A tough punt, and this was returned to the Medina 15-yard line. And
it's a 5, actually.
The 5, yeah, and then they get the 2-point conversion, 26-18. Payne to Thompson, 26-24, another failed 2-point conversion. So the difference in this game, the 2-point conversions, Medina did not get any of them, and East Rochester wasn't great either, but they got one, and that's all they needed. But the tough punt, got a great return on that. They got a kickoff return, and then the fumble in the first drive of the game. Those are a couple key plays, and that's why Medina's not moving on.
Tim, what are your, we talked at halftime about Medina made a lot of mental mistakes, and it didn't seem like they made quite as many in the second half, but they came at the worst moments.
Yeah, Francis, this is going to be a tough pill to swallow, obviously, for Medina. And, first and foremost, hats off to a fantastic season from Medina. 11-0 going in today, so 11-1 on the season. Great job, great program. They had some key players, have huge years. The quarterback, a Connolly Cup finalist. So hats off to them first and foremost. I mean, it's a fantastic year. It's a dream season. Unfortunately, dreams come to an end sometimes, obviously. And, it's tough because, I'm not positive the better team won today. Yes, they won the game. I get that. But the games that I've seen Medina play, I've never seen them kind of shoot themselves in the foot that often, with just kind of little nitpicky penalties, 5 yards here, 5 yards here, 5 yards there. A punt from a really good punter who just had a bad punt. It happens, and I think what happened even more so on that punt is I think Medina just expected them to get away from it. The kid smartly for East Rochester picks it up, runs it all the way down to the 5-yard line. So little mental breakdowns, I think, is the difference. We talked about, with about 3 minutes to go, they were down 26-24, and they held East Rochester Ganada to a punt. And I said, I think if you're Medina, if you were given this opportunity at the start of the game, you would take it. 3 minutes left, and you're getting the ball to go and score either a touchdown or a field goal if you get in position. And it just didn't work out, and maybe it came into play that, they didn't have that adversity, throughout the season. And yes, that's definitely something you practice all season long, the 2-minute drill. Quite a bit different though when you're going against your own second string defense, because you have a lot of starters on offense, and they're going against a 11-0 East Rochester defense. So, again, it's tough. Hindsight 2020 would have done a couple of things differently, of course. The 4th and 19 play, you kind of threw it 6-7 yards, but again, speed of the game, it's tough. It's really hard in a position that they weren't in too often. So 2 really good football teams, Francis. I mean, just fantastic football teams. Defensive battle in the first half, and then the offense just kind of went crazy in the second.
Yeah, and the one thing that they really struggled with, hopefully our listeners can still hear us for a second while we fix the camera, is, they had the ball with 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go, and it just showed that they hadn't been in that position. They used a lot of clock. The clock was wasted, and they didn't even get a first down. Kudos to Granada doing that, but, it was – the opportunity was there, and it wasn't too big for them. It just Granada made a lot of good stops there. And you talk about them, did the better team win? It's hard because Granada played good, but they weren't great. I mean, took advantage of Medina's mistakes with the fumble, the kickoff return for a touchdown, and then taking advantage of the muff punt, and small little details.
Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, you could say the best team won, but I don't think we would have been shocked at either outcome because I think they were that close.
Yeah.
It was that close. And I really think what happened was the team that made the least amount of mistakes ended up winning the football game. And so many times you see that in a close football game. But you mentioned the last drive with 3:30 left. We did notice that there was about 20 to 25 seconds they kind of just wasted by not getting up to the line of scrimmage as fast when they made the first down. Mm-hmm. And then just, they call the plays at the line of scrimmage, but he's taking an extra 5-6 seconds to get the play off. So again, I can guarantee they work on the 2-minute drill probably at the end of every practice. That's pretty much standard. But when you're running against vanilla type defense that is probably your second stringers, maybe even some JV players who move up because it's a smaller school, and then you go against 11-0 defense, it's a world of difference for sure, and we talked about who was going to have the ball last, and it was that situation. But you got to get the hats off to East Rochester who stepped up defensively at the end and made a huge stop. They had a sack, I believe, on that drive. Yep. They put them back. Then another false start, so another shoot yourself in the foot, and then it kind of got a little bit of a desperation type. On third and 18, the receiver was open, and I think that's just a pass that Xander wish he had back. He just kind of he underthrew it a little bit, maybe rushed it just a hair, but he was open. They would have got the first down. So, and again, I am nitpicking. I'm totally nitpicking. That's kind of our job to do right now. This was a great football game, and we kind of talked about this yesterday in the Randolph game. It's too bad that a team had to lose because these are 2 very good football teams that really any outcome wouldn't have shocked me at all.
And then you had Thompson. Thompson was great with a lot of receptions, caught a pass for touchdowns. Skinner was really good. The game came down to the special teams. Would you say, and this isn't something guys that they practice a lot during the week, offense, defense. There's only so much practice time they have. And the special teams really did make a difference in this game.
Not just special teams, but special teams as in the 2-point conversions.
2-point conversions.
Because that's part of special teams.
Yes.
Definitely.
And then the punt return or the kickoff return. The punt, maybe your practice was a rough punt. So the special
and then the
teams,
kickoff, remember the very beginning
as
well.
Return, yep. So it was just the little things. It's plays that, it's going to drive a coach nuts because you think about it all season.
And what about this? Joe, we talked about this when Medina scored to make it 20 and they made it 26-24. They get a squid kick instead of kicking off all the way. Okay. Now they hold them to a 3-and-out and they have to punt. But they're punting from midfield. It goes all the way down to the 5-yard line. If you kick that off and the same scenario happens, they're kicking from the 20 or 15-yard line, you might get the ball at midfield. That changes things. And when we saw that kick, we're like, whoa, just kick it off. Let it go, kick it all the way down.
Yeah.
And they tried a squid kick. I think that was probably just the strategy they did all year. But in my opinion, which doesn't mean a whole lot, I just would have kicked it all the way down as far as you possibly could have and try to make East Rochester go the length of the field.
And we've seen teams, and we did a game together at Kenmore West where a lot of schools, they just do the squib kick.
It's kind of the standard for some reason.
You're giving them free yards.
Yeah, I agree.
Because then if you have, and then you talk about, the punt situation, right? Do you go for it on 4th and 9? Do you punt it? Well, when you have a punt that doesn't go your way, it's like, geez, should I have gone for it? You know what I mean? So it's amazing.
But he's a good punter. He's just had a bad punt. I think even Tom talked about on the broadcast that, he is a good punter and he just had a bad punt. It happens. It's part of the game, right? You can't tell me nerves don't kick in too. I mean, he's a human. He's a human being. Nerves are going to kick in. And he had a bad punt. It is what it is. But bigger than the bad punt was the Medina special teams scattering, thinking that Ganado was just going to go away from the ball and run away. And that the kid had made a great play, picking it up and running it all the way down, almost scoring, got all the way down to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, I think so as well. If we take a look at the bracket here for folks watching for East Rochester again, we do apologize. We're having some issues with our camera. But next, we have Skinny Atlas taking on Shenago Forks. It's the Section 3 team versus Section 4. So I believe that game is taking place. Should have wrapped up. So we're still waiting to score from that one. But the winner of that game will take on East Rochester Gananda. That'll be at noon a week from today at Cicero North Syracuse High School. That'll also be on the NFHS network if you're watching the game on there. We do have an important update to get along. We got a tweet in from McQuaid. This is concerning the AA game. They tweeted out about 2 hours ago that they're having some health issues, and right now the AA game is in doubt. That's according to McQuaid. They're set to take on Bennett tonight at 6:30 in the AA. They are telling people if they are planning to go to the game to still make to keep an eye on their social media accounts before leaving. We did see a tweet from a Rochester media member. This may be health related. Didn't say COVID, but I would imagine.
You got to assume so. Right?
You got to assume so. So we're certainly keeping a close eye on that. But
that's too bad. I can guarantee, as much as Bennett wants to win the game, they don't want to win that way. That's for sure. I know they went through it last season themselves. So let's pray for the best there. I hope that the football game is allowed to be played, and we are at some weird times these days. Nobody quite knows what to do right now, and it's tough. It really is tough, and let's just hope that McQuaid's season doesn't end that way. And it doesn't. I assume it won't be postponed, right? And again, we apologize. We're just kind of reading this on the fly. We just got it with about 2 minutes left in the Medina East Rochester game. So as we know during our pre-games and our halftime show, if we hear any more, we'll be sure to let you guys know what's going on.
Yeah, you feel for, it's health related. If it's COVID, if it's not, you just never know. You feel bad for the kids if it's their health. You feel bad for the kids who are healthy. It's something that you work guys all season long, and to come up short if they don't play, it's still on. It'll be a tough pill to swallow for everyone, including us tonight.
All right, that will do it for our post-game show. Again, it is East Rochester Gowanda defeating Medina 26-14. 26-24. You're right. To win the Section 6 Class C Far West Regionals. They'll move on to next week's state semifinal.
Francis, we forgive you. You've seen a lot of numbers the last 2 nights. So
yeah, lots of numbers.
Okay for that.
All right. So for Joe Daniel, Tim Chifa, I'm Francis Beck. Thanks for tuning in for the post-game report sponsored by West York Media Care. We should be back in about maybe 20 minutes. We'll have pregame of the Class B game between Maritime and Batavia.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
I love being home.
Avoiding care can lead to worse problems. Don't delay care. We're here for you. Western New York Immediate Care provides quick, quality care for non-emergent injuries and illnesses. Go to WNYimmediatecare.com for more information.